everyone, it's Sarah, Painter Creator. I hope you're having a nice day and enjoying your painting time. So today I'm just working on a really small piece. It's roughly 10.5 centimetres by 15 centimetres, and I'm going to paint one of my favourite scenes, which is the sea and the beach coming down, a bit of a nice sort of summery sky on an evening. So using my usual Cotman watercolour set and my Creative Peak paper. And if you're enjoying what we're doing here, if you just let us know with a comment or a thumbs up even, be lovely. So I'm going down to that horizon line, and I've spritzed my paints already. So I'm just using my medium mop brushes. So this is a really watery wash of cadmium yellow. Just managed to find my little tags out so that you can see what I'm doing. So a little watery wash of cadmium yellow. I did just press pause there, so I might just need to spritz my paper, we'll see. I'm trying to keep it nice and light today, so a little bit of alizarin crimson into the mix. I might just drop a little bit more cadmium yellow into there. Circle that bead a little bit. And then I'm going for classic ultramarine blue on the top. Just going to wet that top a little bit because it's drying out. A little bit darker at the top because that's how skies work. And I've got a really nice gradient on my sky. And then I'm just going to drop some Gambo's yellow into the bottom, which is a much brighter yellowy orange. And because I've got that alizarin crimson, it's not going to turn green in the mix. There we go. So I'm going to let that dry. Mop up that horizon line the best I can. There we go. Okay, so we're dry. So I'm going to just put a really pale wash of cadmium yellow over up to this sort of area, as if that's just the light dancing across. So any of my waves that I leave showing will show this little bit of yellow through. I might just add a little bit of gamboge yellow as well, look at that, just for the centre bit. So the two yellows, and I'm going to dry that off now. So now I'm going to do the beach. So I'm going to go for some raw umber with maybe a little bit of burnt sienna and ultramarine blue for the darker areas. So I'm just going to wet the area off. I want the sands in, a little bit of raw umber, you can actually buy a colour called sand. I'm just going to lift a little bit out of these so that it looks a bit lighter at the base. That's just my sand dune. So I'm going to just mix a little touch of burnt sienna into warm this foreground up a little bit. And then a little touch of burnt sienna and ultramarine blue together. Makes a nice sort of warmer, shadowy, darker colour. And they will all dry lighter. Don't worry about it. It will dry a lot lighter. So this is dry, so I can mix a little mix of ultramarine blue and red light. If you haven't got red light, you can add some burnt sienna, it will work the same, and it just sort of takes the brightness of the blue off. And it also helps with this being yellow. So I'm going to paint over that horizon line. Leaving some of that yellow. You can see where I tried to lift some, I've got a little bit of lifted paper. I was a bit rough with it, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so I can leave that to dry, which is really nice. I'm going to grab a hairdryer. Okie dokie, so we're dry. I'll finish that off with a hairdryer. So I'm just going to pick up my small mop brush, drop it in some water, which helps with the shaping, and I'm going to paint on the first layer of these wooden posts just with a little bit of burnt umber. So it's just the first layer. So probably a 50-50 mix of paint. And I'm going to probably darken these. Put another one there. I'm going to put one up here. Okay, that's dry now. So I'm starting off mixing Gamboge yellow with a touch of ultramarine blue. Always put the yellow down first because the blue is the stronger colour. And I'm wanting a sort of a bright evening-y sort of grassy feel. And I've picked up my little number 2 rigger and I'm just putting on some first layer of grasses. They are just the first layer. It will look messy, it's fine, because we're going to get some more, but these are the ones that are being caught by the sun. And actually, I don't know about where you live, but the grass that's down near our beaches is quite messy. Anyway, and that new Gamboge yellow makes a really beautiful sort of glow with the grass. A little bit down here. Okay, so I'm going to swap now to a cadmium yellow and ultramarine blue. It makes a different green, but because I've got the ultramarine in the mix, it stays in the same family, and that sort of harmonises. Starts to build a bit of structure. Sorry for the noise, it's really busy out here today. So now I'm going for my little sap green. One of my favourite colours. nice and bright. So that's just sap green. Just add a bit of brightness. And then I'm going to add some ultramarine blue into it. Not too much. Gosh, that's a lot. Maybe we have got quite a bit. Oh yeah, that's a better colour. And just starting to build up the darks. Because the grasses on the sand dunes are quite dark when you look at them. They stand out against this lovely bright sky. So a bit more ultramarine blue into the mix. And you can push this as dark as you want. At this time of the evening, or maybe it's the morning, but I think this is more of an evening shadow of colour. The grasses tend to look really, really sort of dark. So I'm just adding a little bit more ultramarine into these that are in the foreground. Particularly in the base. So you get that sort of sense of a clump. Okay, I'm going to dry that off with my hairdryer. Right, we're looking nice. It's looking good. So I'm going to just do some darker work on here. So a little bit of burnt umber and ultramarine will give you a really, really nice dark for a dark brown. And I'm just going to put some darks on here. And then down the inside of that, I'm going to run some Gamboge yellow. As if that sunset is just catching the inside of that light. A touch of the dark into there as well. Okay. So, time for a little bit of a bird or two. So I'm just going to take some of that dark, mix it with a little bit of black, and I'm just going to paint on a nice bird. Take the excess off in your paper towel all the time. And then maybe we've got a couple down here on the sand. I'm going to go for a little touch of burnt sienna for their heads. Let's go for that one. And then a nice sort of contrasting, I might actually use a little touch of phthalo blue. For a jacket. And then some of that dark, some legs. Sorry, that's my hobby. Flash it. And a little, let's have a little doggy. Didn't like those definitions of those legs. That's better, it makes the dog look like it's moving rather than just stood still. So, last thing to do is a little bit of Elysian Crimson and Ultramarine Blue together, which will make a really nice shadow colour. So, I'm just going to put this guy's shadow in. It's quite a long shadow. Going to drop some shadows into here. A little bit at the bottom of here. And some shadows from the grasses. And then I'm just going to drop a little bit of that shadow colour across this bit of the sea that we can see. There we are. So a little play on a little bit of paper today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have fun. There we go. Under half an hour. Rest in between, it's fine. And enjoy. So like, subscribe, all the rest. See you soon.